Hey everyone, welcome back. Sorry, this is a long video. I need you to do me a favor though. Before watching this video, I need you to clear your mind. Clear your mind of all the videos you've seen of Dre online. Completely take out any forehand knowledge that you knew of her until this point. The reason for that is because this video itself prompted a lot of speculation and rumors, gossip, and some pretty hefty accusations. The reason why you need to watch this with an open mind is because take out all of the videos that have been broken down or speculated over that you had seen. You have seen a lot of things that allegedly happened or have been said, but is there been any proof to back that up? There are some facts sprinkled through this video, however, there is a lot of misinformation. I'm not asking you to change your opinion on Dre at all. What I'm asking you to do is base your opinion of her on facts of this case. This is her ex-admin, Brittany. This video was recorded on July 8th. July 6th was when the police report of what happened on May 23rd, the alleged incident, was released. Again, not asking you to change your opinion on what you feel about Dre, I'm just asking you to look at this with a clear set of eyes. Based off facts, we know that Letitia is Marvan's biologic mother. However, Marvan was put up for adoption to his great-grandmother at a very young age. Their circumstances around that are none of our business. However, that is facts. Marvan lived with his great-grandparents until he was 16 when he returned home to Letitia for a short period of time and then returned right back to his great-grandparents' house where he finished out school. Now, take out that you know there's a family relationship or a bloodline relationship between Marvan's bio mother and his adopted mother. Take that out for a minute. Again, I am not discrediting Letitia by calling her the biologic mother. I am just trying to state facts and make this as clear as possible. What we had all been told to this point was that Marvan's mom had been denied access to visit Marvan because of Dre's hatred for Letitia. Yet now we know that Dre had called who Marvan considers and referred to and kept in touch with as his mom, his adopted mother, great-grandmother. There was even videos of Dre talking on FaceTime to the great-grandmother in the hospital with Marvan in the bed. Again, I'm not trying to change your opinion on any of these characters involved. I'm just trying to lay out the facts of how this story actually goes. I will also say I do think that Letitia absolutely should have been able to see her son, and she has been. Thankfully, that has been accomplished. Yet throughout this entire story, the one question I've seen everyone fail to ask is how is Marvan's mom handling this? Marvan's mom, the one who raised him, his adoptive mother. Some of you are adoptive mothers yourself. Yes, you might have reached out and let her see them on your own. This family dynamic is different. They don't have that relationship. It was estranged. Marvan had tried to reconnect to his family and was making steps in the right direction. Yet, how that has overshadowed the truth of this story is beyond me. Again, this isn't judging her past, this is observing the facts. If you were the adoptive mother and you were in these shoes with a bio mother coming in and doing this, how would you feel? Let's get into it. Also need to mention, again, the video is from July 8th. You can find it on Without a Crystal Ball's channel, and you will see a lot throughout this video, my opinions of how this was handled, things of that nature. Yet things aren't as they seem. This isn't a creator issue. This is how this story has been portrayed to the public issue. Do the creators have a hand in this? Absolutely, they do.
Yeah, all I'm
All
gonna
of
ask is that we
them do.
just
Here's the
not,
video.
Yes, Candy, I did read those. I read the texts. So Brittany, I'm gonna put this here. All right, Brittany. Hello, Brittany.
Hey,
Hi, so you know them.
so back in 2016 to 2018,
And we're already off to a bad start. Dre made her page on Facebook in March of 2017. Previous to that, she had used her personal profile and gone live in makeup groups and on her profile to do makeup lives. Brittany was not an admin for Dre in 2016. Her page was not created until 2017, so she
the admin for Dre
fabricated
on her
this
page
for
when she
some
first
reason.
started.
I'm not really sure. Maybe it was an
And
accidental slip.
towards the end, well, because I left the whole situation, I don't know if anybody remembers when she broke her leg. Sorry, my head is all mumbled because I'm like, this was really fast. And I told myself that I wasn't going to do this, but as the situation unfolded more and more, I'm so disgusted.
Yeah.
Which is typical after somebody breaks their foot and is in a
people to
big
think
old
Vaughn
walking
was one
boot.
way, because he definitely was not. He was, next to my husband, one of the most gentle, kindest souls I've ever met.
That's what I've heard.
I mean, he did everything for her, everything. So in 2018, she had broke her leg, and it was taking an extremely long amount of time to heal for some reason. So she had asked me. She didn't want to ask other people, and I won't bring them into it. The other admins at the time, who I understand are not with her anymore either. If they're ready to come forward, they can do that on their own time. But she had asked me, or all of us there was 4 admins, if somebody could fly to California. This is when they were in Oceanside.
Okay.
She, real quick, Katie, if I go back to, how can I see the comments? I've never done this.
Oh, I don't know how you can see that in.
If I switch back to, oh, okay, never mind. I figured it out. So I was the only admin, I guess, that could go at the time. I don't remember exactly what had happened, but she wanted somebody who could leave like literally that day. And she said, I'll fly you out here right now. I'll pay you for helping. She wanted someone that could help for like a week or 2 with the kids, get her house together because it was all out of whack, because she had been able to walk at all. And so at the time, I thought she was this sweet, like perfect person. She was always so kind to us. A few times she would go off the handle or get mad for no reason. She's very controlling. But I was like, oh, she's got a big page. She's stressful, blah, blah, blah. Made excuses for her.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, I'll go. My husband said that was fine. So it was already late at night. It was like 11 at night. And she was like, well, can you go right now? And I'm like, no, I can go in the morning. So anyways, she bought my ticket and I flew to California.
Okay.
And when I got there, the first day I was just like so excited, overwhelmed with happiness to finally meet this person that I knew better than a lot of the people in my life, because we were literally on, in a chat with her daily, video chats daily. You become really close to them. I knew her whole family life, everything. Had met her whole family through video chats. It was very personal. You
Yeah.
run, with your moderators, you get it.
I've got Jesse and Charlotte, and they've been with me since 2018.
Right. So,
And they're like, well, and Rebecca. I don't know if Rebecca's still in mod, but yeah.
and their family, pretty much,
Yeah. Yes.
And that's how we were with Dre. So I flew down there. The first day was great. We all sat around. The kids were like, Aunt Brittany, it was great. It was really good. Bonnie was so welcoming. I mean, Dre was too. So that evening, though, I noticed that she was being controlling and starting to want me. She's like, okay, well, now you're here to work. And I knew I was there to help. Of course, that's what I went for. So she gave me a list, like, okay, I need you to do this, do this, do this. So I'm like, okay. So I start cleaning up. I get the kids to bed, allow her and Bonnie to have time together. My husband's looking at me. To make a long story short, I don't want to hold, because I could literally hold you forever. Just
no. I mean, I'm all ears.
But what if that's not
through
the
the whole
case
week,
and
thought
she
I was
was
going to be there to
actually
just,
reaching out
help
to a
pick up,
friend to
help
come
her
help her in a
do
time
things she
of
couldn't
need
do,
because
coach
she
here
had
and
a
there.
broken
No,
foot and could
she
not
treated
stand
me
on it?
in that week like a slave, literally.
Wow.
I could never get things done fast enough for her. So she had just started a vegan lifestyle at the time, and she expected me to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner vegan, which I knew nothing about really, because that wasn't my lifestyle. I had to do all the grocery shopping. The kids were in K-12 homeschooling, so I helped them with all their homeschool. While I was 2, then I believe 2 or 3. So, and he was a very wild 2-year-old. He was such a sweet boy, but very, very wild. So it was, taking care of him. And then I'm having to do these 4-course meals in vegan cooking. So I'm looking at recipes. And it was never enough.
I just need to stop you for a second. I would never, ever, ever expect anyone to do that for me.
Right.
I don't. Okay. So I have a smaller platform than her, but still, I would never abuse my, like, because you are probably looking at her like, you look up to her, right? She's
right,
like,
right. She was like an older sister, but I was older than her.
yeah, and like she has authority in a way because of power, because she has this channel and she knows that she's got this power over you, and she's abusing that.
Right. And like I loved her, she was not in that way like a sister.
Yeah.
And all of us admin did. We literally ran her whole life for her. It wasn't just her page, we would help her with companies that reached out. I mean, she had a huge following. Even at the very beginning, she gained 300,000 followers. It was fast, super fast. And it was just, we weren't just workers. Maybe to her, obviously, after this whole trip, I found out that's all we were. So through the whole week, one of the girls that were admin was like my best friend. Her and I, she was admin before I was, but just like a month or so, and we had gotten really close, and I loved her. But talking about the other admin, we were super close. The whole time that I was at Dre's, I was wanting to video chat with her.
But what if she
was
just
like, well,
really
how
felt
is she?
that
Like,
she
I'm
owed
like, girl,
you
she's nothing
for your
like what we
time?
see on video. Absolutely nothing. I would call at night. I would go outside, call my husband. I'm like crying. I'm like, I'm exhausted, and I'm a big girl. So being on my feet all day long, I was just completely exhausted. And I would literally wake up at like 7 in the morning and work till 9 or 10 at night. I mean, now don't get me wrong. We would visit in between here and there, but she slept a lot because of the pain medicine with her leg. And I was always trying, like, I knew she was going to pay me, but it wasn't even just about that. I wanted to help her.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, she is paying me, so let me do my best job. Not just like what a friend would casually do. Let me do it like I'm getting paid, because I didn't want her to say anything or what she did in the end. I'll get to that. So I'm telling my husband, like, I'm ready to go home. Like, it's not fun anymore. It's not a business.
What was the agreement? Like, how long were you going to be there for?
Well, she didn't buy me, a round trip ticket. She said, well, at least a week or a week and a half, but we'll figure out, in how long you want to stay. And I don't think we ever settled on, like, you're going to pay me this much. I had told her, you don't have to pay me. She's like, no, I will pay you for your time. And now I realize that she said that because if I would have not accepted payment, or if by me saying, no, I don't want anything, she couldn't control me, feel like she could control me. But her saying, I'll pay you, then I had an obligation, Do you understand what I'm saying? So I got that in her narcissist way after the whole trip happened. So I think I stayed like 9 or 10 days. And mind you, the whole time, Vaughn would come home he was still active duty, and he would come home from work, and she would be like, Britt, I need this, I need that, yelling from her bedroom. And she didn't know he was home. And I remember one day he walked in right when she was yelling at me, and I was just like, oh, I put my head down and shook it as he was walking in, and he whispered, don't worry about it. I got it. Like, she's too much. Like, he even told me, like, I got it. You take a break. And he would apologize for her during my whole trip. Like, he knew. He obviously knew, but he treated her. I mean, he put her on a pedestal like a princess. Literally worshiped the ground she walked on. There wasn't anything that she couldn't say, do, want, that he wouldn't make happen.
Wow.
So I noticed after about 4 or 5 days, her attitude was starting to change. So one day she left to they all went to like a convention at their church. And I said, oh, I don't want to go because I'm not Jehovah's Witness. So
does she go to a Jehovah's Witness church?
She did. I mean, I don't think she was active as much after breaking her legs. Like when I was there, she didn't go all the time, but she went that one day, but they came back real quick. And Vaughn had told me that she had got anxiety really bad in the middle of service. So they left. So I was like, okay. And another thing, and this was something that really stood out to me. So her supporters would send her gifts all the time, Yeah. I mean, a lot of gifts. And when I walked in her bedroom, like when I first got there, she had a huge pile of boxes. Half hadn't even been opened yet. There was so many. And I was like, what are you going to do with those? She said, girl, I can't even go through them. If you want, go through them. If you want something, it's yours, like that. And I said, but Dre, you're supposed to open those, on camera like you do sometimes. She goes, I know, but I'm just not feeling like she was so unappreciative of things supporters sent her. And I was like, that struck me like I never realized that, because watching her go live as her admin, I thought she was the most appreciative, but it was all an act. It was a show. She's very.
I always get so weirded out when people have like their cash apps like all the time, and are talking about the stuff. I mean, it's very clear, even in the last few days, of videos I've watched of her, where she's constantly talking about people giving her money and sending her gifts. Like, I've never run my channel or my social media that way. I've I have a PO box, and sometimes I'll get like a sweet card. Like for the longest time, I had this cute woman that would send like super cute letters, and she would send stickers to my son and that was so sweet. But like I can't imagine getting like full on just like gifts and asking people like send me money. Like all of her, she's monetized. Why would she?
Well, back then, that was when Facebook had just started doing Facebook ads.
Okay. I'm not on Facebook. I don't even use Facebook really.
Okay. Well, she didn't really use YouTube much back then. It was all Facebook. And they had just started doing the ads. Do you remember when they would say, hold on, I'm going to go to a break real quick. Yeah. And they literally would have to pause the video and an ad would pop up. That only lasted about, goodness, I want to say a couple months. And then Facebook took it away again for everyone. So she would have coupon codes from companies, things like that. But at the time, I will be honest, she wasn't making a lot of money. And that's when she started selling paparazzi.
Okay.
So she wasn't making money off of social media. I mean, besides gifts or if people donated money or something. She didn't. The Dre back then online was completely different than this person now. Now in person, that like I met her in person, she was a whack job. I mean, just blew my mind. So at the end of the trip, things started winding down, and you could tell there was tension between us because I had just got tired of being treated that way. It was never enough. I could tell it was never enough. Now, she wouldn't just flat out tell me that to my face, but I could tell she was getting irritated. You know how you're just at someone's house, they're getting irritated because they're not as nice as they were the first couple of days.
Yes.
So I finally told her, like, hey, or she asked me, like, your husband's ready for you to go home? And I'm like, yeah, he really is. So she said, okay, well, I'll get you a flight for tomorrow in the morning. And I was like, okay, so, and I told my husband, hey, she booked me a flight, picked me up and everything. So the night before I left, and I know I'm leaving out probably a million things, but I could go on forever.
Okay.
The night before I left, I noticed that she didn't even tell me good night or anything. And I slept in the girls' room with them, and I was like, it was just odd, but I was like, whatever. At that point, I didn't care. It had become awkward, and I was exhausted, and I was ready to go home.
Yeah.
And even Vaughn had came in there. I was washing clothes, trying to get because she had been out of commission for a minute. There was so many clothes. I was trying to catch on all her clothing, to wash all the clothes in the house before I left and everything. And then the girls like drew me sweet pictures when I left. Vaughn come in there, and he was like, Dre's gonna call, or she had told me she was gonna have an Uber pick me up for my flight at like 5:30 in the morning because the airport was in San Diego, about an hour away. And Vaughn had said, well, I can drive her in the morning. No need to spend that much on a Uber, And she was like, no, it's fine. I'm paying for it. And I said, no, Vaughn, it's okay. I don't want you to have to get up earlier than you already would. And he was like, no, I've got PT in the morning, so I'll go ahead and take you. She was like, Vaughn, it's fine. And I said, it's really okay. And he was looking confused. So I left the room. Vaughn comes out and he gave me a big hug. And he was like, I just want to tell you, if nobody else does, I appreciate every single thing you have done here. I appreciate the love the kids have grown for you, having you here. They're really going to miss you. And the girls were like, we're going to miss you so much. It felt good. But she never once that night told me anything like, thank you, nothing. So I fly home. I get on the plane to leave, and they're telling you shut your phones off, and I see a text come through from her, a real long text, but I couldn't read it. I had to shut off my phone. The flight was about to take off. So I fall asleep. I get home. My husband's picking me up. I turn my phone on, and there's a long message from her, and she's telling me how she's so disappointed in me, that she feels that I took advantage of her and used her for a vacation. Mind you, I was in California for the first time in my life. Never once did I even get to see a beach, ever. I never.
And you were making her like 4-course meals.
I was cooking every meal for her, cleaning. She had the nerve to tell me in this text message that that her house was worse when I left than when I had got there. That I had left it worse, and I was like, okay, there was a little mess, but I'm sorry, I wasn't going to clean up at 5:30 in the morning before I left on my flight. Like. I didn't even know what to say.
A little mess. What? You shouldn't even have to apologize. Oh
exactly. Exactly. Now that's not all, Katie. She had told me that she doesn't know how she could look at me in my face anymore on her admin team, that it would be very awkward, that I used her for a trip to California, which was ridiculous. Nothing that I did there, absolutely nothing, was not for her. I did nothing for myself. I couldn't even buy a keychain, a postcard for my family, nothing.
Did she pay you?
I think she gave me like, it was like $200. To her. Babe, do you remember how much she gave me? Sorry, I don't mean to yell. It wasn't more than 300. Absolutely, it wasn't more. And she was like, complaining, I bought all your meals for you because you wouldn't eat vegan. Okay,
she did this to you on purpose.
Exactly. That was my point.
She did this to you on purpose so that she's gaslighting you. Like,
yes. So
I mean, this is like what she just did to Vaughn's mom.
Yes.
Like, you need to apologize for putting out intimate details.
I agree that all of them owe each other apologies. A lot of apologies are owed, but there's so many questions that remain unanswered.
About my husband online still being pushed when she's in
that
his
she has a legal
room spitting on him
for Marvan. And money is still being collected at this point.
It's weird.
And as far as personal information on the internet,
after I read through this whole message, and she's just tearing me down, and she goes, I just don't know what else to say at this point, Brittany. I need to think about this, and I will talk to you tomorrow or at a later date. I don't remember what it was. So I went into our admin chat. I removed myself from all the chats. I removed myself as an admin on her page. And so the next day she wrote me, and mind you, my best friend who was the admin was telling me what was being said about me, amongst her and the other admins. And she was like, I can't even listen to this because I literally was on video chat with you while you were there. And the times that we could video chat, you were slaving for her. And we couldn't even video chat other times because she didn't want you on the phone because you were working. She said, so how dare she tell you that you did nothing for her? And I said, I don't know. So then I get a message from Dre the next day saying that she had added up what she had gave me, what she had spent on me for flight, Uber, and the money she gave me. And she said she bought all my meals. She had food DoorDashed 4 times in an 8-9 day period. I bought all my other meals. So she added it up and said, you owe me $1,100. She wanted her money back. I told her she could go F. I told her, you can go F yourself. At this point, you're just a effing nut job, and I won't pay you a penny.
That's a scam. That is a scam. She is a scammer.
It was horrible. And my husband, who's very prideful, said, no, we will pay her because I don't want anybody to say you ever owe them $1. So I had wrote it. I said, you're lucky my husband has agreed, blah, 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 blah. But then I just let it brew for a good week, and I took other people's input about it who knew her, for admin or whatever other reasons. And they're like, no, do not give your husband's heart, because he takes care of me. He works. They're like, don't let him give his hard-earned money to her. You did more than enough that anybody should as a friend and a visitor, whether she was paying you or not, Brittany. And so
offer you to fly you out there and then turn around and say, you owe me money.
Right. I was at that point when she asked for the money back. I didn't even care what she had said about me in that said to me in that long message. I was just like, you just asked me back. I just couldn't fathom. I couldn't grasp. I'm like, I must be crazy. This is not happening. So I finally wrote her back and I said, you know what, Dre? I'm not giving you a penny. I said, I don't care that I told you I would because my husband said so. At this point, I've thought about it, and you will not get a dime from me. I slaved for you. You literally, and that's when I just went off completely on her, and she blocked me on everything. She didn't even want to hear it. She said, I knew you wouldn't give my money back, and blocked me. It was horrible. And I literally was one of the closest people to her. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a subscriber. I worked for her. And we admined for probably 10, 12, 14 hours a day sometime. We didn't make a penny. Now, granted, when we did admin, sometimes she would send us like $50 if she felt the need. And that was maybe twice, 2 or 3 times. We volunteered our time. We didn't get paid to do that. She would call me at 3 a.m. Oh my God, this makeup influencer is coming after me and putting stuff up, trying to, just the fighting, the drama, and fix it. I need you to fix it. I can't handle it. And I would fix it. So the appreciation we never got from any of that, which we didn't ask for, you know? We enjoyed what we did. All of us admin did. But that trip, I seen a whole different Dre. She would literally go live with me in front of her and smile. I mean, with me next to her. I went live with her once, maybe twice when I was there. But she was live putting her makeup on. I could sit next to her outside of the camera, and she would just be this. It was like a freak show. She would smile and laugh and yes, my friend is here visiting. She's been so helpful. And as soon as that camera was off, she was like, "Ugh, this was so annoying. This lie, like night and day." And I would just be like, "This is a psychopath. This woman is a." I told my husband.
I mean, knowing what you know now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a video on her page on May 28th, and she's acting like nothing happened. And and she's selling her stuff, and she's making videos saying, "I'm living my best life." What?
Yep, that's her. No emotion. No. It's crazy. She may not be like a serial killer like we in the true crime stuff see or anything, but she does have the mind path of a psychopath, of the mind frame of a psychopath. I mean, it's just, I've never in my life at that point had met someone that was in my real life that was as crazy as she was. I mean, it was just.
You know, I briefly spoke to someone else that knew her, and it was like, they said she's like a cult leader. Like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what his mom told me. Like, she's so controlling.
Oh, if she cannot control every aspect of her life, she will have a nervous breakdown. Like, full-fledged, balls to the wall, nervous breakdown, because she cannot control everyone.
She's live right now. Where? I'm literally on her slave. I'm on her.
I don't think she'll go wild. Now, if she sees me, that I've gone live with you, I'm already ready for the backlash or what she's going to say. I don't care at all. I mean, it's been 4 years since this, and I've never went live about it. I never blasted her to everyone, never. But this situation, I don't even care. You are disgusting the way you've acted.
Well, I mean,
in this whole situation, and to know that for Vaughn to commit suicide or attempt to unalive himself, if I wouldn't have seen that police report, I would have never believed it. He is not that person. I can't even express in words how good of a man he was. He was so good to her.
Because someone just said anyone in the Dre group can give updates. Oh, she is live.
Oh, in her subscriber only.
Oh, never mind. There hasn't been anything since the police reports, they said.
Oh, okay. And I figured that because now she's trying to grasp up what she's going to say. Like, how does she explain this?
How does she get out of this, right? Like,
right.
There's no way that you can get out of this at this point. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, she'll find a way, though. Mark my words. Well, she'll think she has a way. This is going to truly devastate her income, her followers. I've heard a lot of things that were posted, things that were said, and I wanted to correct, like, I don't want anybody to think I'm defending her, but like minor things, people are like, "Oh my God, she's living in an RV after making all this money." She's in an RV just because she's down there. She does own her home. I mean, there's various things, and I didn't even comment or add to them because people are going to be like, "Why are you defending her?" And it's not about defending her. I'm just trying to make sure the facts are right.
I will say, like, she lives in Yuma, and I think their house is like, I saw some outdoor stuff. I mean, she's not loaded by any means.
No, and she owned that. It's a trailer.
Yeah.
That they've redone it. Vaughn remodeled it, but they owned that. They bought that before. When they were living in Oceanside, it's because he got transferred there for the military. So they received housing off base through the military. And that's what they lived in when they were in Oceanside, California. But they still paid their mortgage in Yuma because they knew he was going to be able to, or he was trying to get out of the military because of his disability, hurting his knees. And then some people were saying he got like a medical discharged because of she said he had a brain injury in the military. No, he didn't at all whatsoever.
He hurt his knee.
Yeah, he hurt his knee, and then when he had the surgery was messed up. It was the doctor's fault, so his knee never healed right. So that's how he got medical discharge. And they moved back to Yuma once he did get the medical discharge to the same home they were paying for before. So she wasn't, but I do know in paparazzi, she was making some damn good money.
Yeah.
And even if she doesn't sell paparazzi right now, all the people that have signed up under her who are selling, she's still reaping those benefits.
Right.
So that is where her money comes from. She doesn't, making all the money on Facebook, her revenue for ads just started back up, within a year for Facebook. So she wasn't making money off of that.
So I want to share something. I want to show people this video. So I'm just going to show you, because she's talking about how she's just like acts like a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
This is her page on May 28th. His accident, or the incident, is May 23rd, and her update says, "How I lost 70 pounds."
I removed this section of the video if you're interested in it. Again, July 8th from Without a Crystal Ball. Unfortunately, there's already tragic photos of Marvan all over the internet, yet I do not want to participate in that as much as possible. And please remember, when you are putting out stuff, the internet is forever. These will be around when their kids are adults. So just keep that in the back of your mind at all times. And laying out facts of this story is not attacking the family. I should also include, at this time, I do not have any contact with the family. I do not intend on having any contact with the family. I am looking at this from an unbiased perspective, just the facts only.
And I'm living my best life, and I don't want your negative vibes. I only want high energy. Like, what?
That's an excuse. Like, she knew it was eventually going to come out what happened eventually. So I think she was preparing the stage. You know what I mean? She
wanted to already, like, that's why I was saying what she was doing to his mom. She was already trying to discredit her. Because that's what these people, well, I mean, I don't know if she's a narcissist. She's definitely acting like one, where she's trying to discredit anybody that will have a negative opinion about her. And listen, not every person is 100% bad. So, but in this situation, this is so dire that Vaughn is sitting on life support, and the family wants answers, and she is not allowing it. And to me, when I was talking to his mom yesterday, all I kept thinking was, there's only one reason why she wouldn't tell you what happened or wanted to keep you away from him. And that is, what if he wakes up and can tell his mom?
Exactly. And this happy-go-lucky role she's playing right now, like, so happy, no negative energy, because I think if he does wake up, and I hope he does and leaves her. I have hope that he does. Medically, being in the medical field, I know the truth to it.
I mean, yesterday, all his mom said to me was, I just want her to let him go. Like,
well, I will say that and I'm going by what she said, that they removed him off the ventilator and he's been breathing on his own very well. Those are good signs.
No, he's not on his own. There's videos where he has a trach.
See, right. And that I see little glimpse of that. And I'm like, either she's not telling the full truth, which is mostly what it probably is. But if he was breathing on his own without a trach, then that means there is some type of brain activity and a reason to have some hope.
No, it doesn't. You can have no brain activity and
still
on your own. There's people that
can. Right. You can. You're right. And you can have instances.
Because he has no brain activity, his organs are going to eventually fail.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And my worry is the hospital says, and finally puts their foot down, says there's absolutely nothing else we can do. Either you can take him home or put him in assisted living. And what is she going to do to him once she has him at home? That's my worry.
He'll never go home.
And she seems to think that he will.
That'll never happen.
I didn't think so either, but that was my worry. I do want to address something, not address it, but comment. Tara Gray, I see her commenting. Tara, I remember you. You have been a follower of hers years and years ago when I was on her admin team, and everything that Tara is saying, is 100% true. She has seen it all. Like, where she's saying that she would try every new diet trend, and she would Google search every symptom and say, well, this is what she has, or this is what it has to be. Tara, you are absolutely right. I'm pretty sure you remember me because I remember you very well. And I don't know why she quit following her, but everything Tara has said is true. I don't know why she quit following her, and I hope it wasn't because Dre treated you some type of way. But
I mean, his mom told me about how, so Vaughn had a friend from high school that apparently was a female, someone that he grew up with.
Yes.
That literally reconnected with him and like called him. And
okay, go ahead. Something just came to mind. Go ahead.
He got on the phone with the woman and cursed her out and told her, don't you ever effing call my husband again, or I will come and find you.
Oh, yeah. She was very, very possessive. I mean, Vaughn would have never cheated on Dre. I don't care what she's told people. I don't care what people may think. When I tell you that their relationship on his end was out of a storybook, it literally was. I've never seen,
I don't think it was like that at the end.
No, I mean, when I was there, when I knew them, he did everything for her. He treated her like a queen, no matter how she treated him. He treated her.
You know, he started going to the therapist, and he learns that the way she's treating him isn't right.
She said he changed in the police report. She told the police he changed after going to the therapist. No, I believe that therapist showed him, hey, what she's doing is wrong. I think the therapist told him he might need to get away from the situation before it became dangerous or something like that. That's why he changed, because the therapist gave him positive advice on what to do, and that advice didn't align with her.
So Dre is the only one that says he's off oxygen, and it's not true that he's not off oxygen. You can see in the videos. I'm like, the only reason I know this, again, is because I have a son that's gone through a lot. He's been on life support, and you can hear the vent in the background. He has a trach.
Right.
She's not showing his face from the neck down anymore. She's only showing his face from here on up. He's clearly on the vent on his trach. But she has this illusion she needs to stick to, that she's healing him. She's regenerating him.
By spitting on him? Yeah. I'm sorry. That's the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen. I've never, even in going to medical school.
I'll show you. So here's an example where she says that
if you want to see the videos that are going over this, go over and find that YouTube video, his medical condition, and showing videos of him in his coma. I just do not put those in my videos. This story is tragic enough in the emotional pull that creators are using to blindly convince followers of things with the story is unbelievable.
Even eyes open. I mean, I've seen it a million times. Their eyes can open, their muscles, legs, arms can move, and it gives families false hope. But that is just what it is, you know? It doesn't mean they're going to when they take them off life support, some people don't realize that. I mean, I've seen patients go 8 hours without actually their heart stopping, taking their last breath.
Another transition right quick.
Right? They were fighting. Their last moments together were not good.
Well, and how she told the police that he had been getting verbally abusive with her. Devon, I know, never would have been that way, but being on K, I mean, it can make you in a delusional state. So he may have been verbally abusive, but that shouldn't discredit him as the person that he is, because that's not him thinking correctly. It's just hard for me to...
I don't believe anything she says.
I don't either, but I try to rationalize and try to make sense of it, but at the same time,
there's no reason for her, in my opinion, to bring that up other than to make herself...
Right, she's building... No, but
she's building an alibi. She's building
she's building an image of herself for the police.
Well, yeah, she's trying to paint the narrative that he's the bad guy, I'm the good guy. Don't look into this.
Right.
And I already brought this up with his mom, and I said the fact that she is, I think she's Mexican or
Hispanic.
Hispanic, and he's a black man. And I said to his mom, I'm like, don't you think that this could just be so easily just overlooked because of that? And she said 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why I feel like we have to fight hard.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a man that was a Marine.
And he wasn't just any Marine. He was a textbook image of a Marine. He loved the military. Let her tell it. He didn't. But when I spoke with him, when I was in California at their home, he, away from her, he told me he hated that he was having to get out of the Marines. She wanted him out.
I know.
And of course, Vaughn did anything that Andrea wanted.
He's not going home. There's no possibility. He's
medically, no.
No.
But whatever you believe in your higher up, whatever God you believe in, maybe you believe it can happen.
No.
But medical terminal. No, I'm telling her. I mean,
oh no,
I don't want her to have a feeling. You know, people, whatever your God is, you at the end of the day, you know, people medical can only go this far, and then there's God, and I believe that to an extent too. But there's, I mean, working in the medical field, by what I know, what I've seen in situations I've went through and the schooling I've learned, he won't. Mama Rock said, Brittany, do you know anything about her getting medications from over the border? Yes. So she lives literally, you know, minutes from the border. I can't say she was doing it to bring back narcotics, because I do know it has gotten a lot harder to, like, you can have a legit surgery over there. My sister-in-law had surgery on her body over there, and they wouldn't even give her narcotic pain medicine even while she was there. So what I do know Dre would go for is because she didn't have insurance at the time, and it was cheaper for her to have dental work. If anybody remembers back like in 2017, when she started thinking her thyroid and all that, she was going over there to have these infusions, like IV drip infusions, that was supposed to be full of vitamins and all kinds of stuff I had never even heard of, that was supposed to be better for her immune system, her health, help her thyroid, all this other stuff. She claims she goes over there because it's cheaper. That's what she claims. So I don't know. You can form your opinion about that.
Said that she smuggles them. So
right.
Lies about everything, you guys. The problem with like untangling the web with these types of situations, for the audience that followed her, in my experience covering these kinds of cases and dealing with these kinds of people, is that it's hard for people to separate themselves from the idea of the person they thought they knew and the reality of what it is. And they're very good at lying, and you have to, like, it's hard to realize that everything was a lie.
Right.
And so it's hard to know what's truth and what's false. And with her, I would venture to say almost anything she said online was probably a lie.
Yeah. Serena Burden, I'm sorry if I talk too much for you. I thought that was the point I was on here. Yeah. Dre, is that you?
So yeah, it's challenging, right? Because you know, definitely didn't deserve to be treated that way. And
nope. There was something, Katie, what I was telling you when you were talking about Dre getting upset about him being friends with an old friend. When I was there, his mother did call like once or twice, and he had left his phone on the counter. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't get out of bed easily. Like when he would get home from work and run and go to the shower or something, I would say, hey, I think his mom is calling, or I don't remember if I told her the number that was calling or whatever it was. And she's like, oh, that's his mom. Answer it and say that he's at work, but I can't remember the exact thing she told me to tell her. But when I would tell her, no, he's not available, and she said, okay, thanks, Dre would tell me, don't even tell him, because they just bring problems to him. And so I think him and his mother may have been talking at some point back in 2017, or maybe she, of course, was trying to get a hold of him.
Well, his mom
Dre would stop it.
His mom told me yesterday that he was speaking to his sister.
Right, he was.
And
you mean recently?
No, I mean even.
Yeah, through the whole time, I knew he was talking to his sister, and he would have to keep that from Dre.
Yeah.
So all the people that have said, oh, well, his mother didn't raise him, or he didn't want nothing to do with his mom, y'all don't know. Y'all really don't know. You know what she's saying.
Mom told me yesterday that she was 16 years old when he was born. She got in trouble. She passed a bad check. She was trying to feed her kids. She, as a part of her conviction, she took a plea deal. She served time in like county jail, and then she had to pay restitution. And then after a certain period of time and everything was paid off, it was dismissed. I looked all of that up. She wasn't lying. She was homeless when she got out of jail, and then her grandmother kind of did something to her to take Vaughn away from her for a period, but she got all of the kids back, and Vaughn, she said, was back with her at the time he was 7. So he was with her from 7 to 18. And she said he was a wonderful child and never a problem with his siblings, such a good brother, very gentle with his siblings, rarely raised his voice. I mean, she said like kids argue, but he was never that kid that argued.
He was never that adult from what I knew. In the time period I knew him, I never heard him raise his voice, disagree with anything that she said or anyone said. I just can't stress it enough. He was the kindest person I've ever known, ever. Yeah. Like, he just wasn't your average man. He wasn't. Not even in a romantic way, but in a friendship and a human being. He was an incredible person. I mean, he's somebody you would never forget, ever. He was really a good man.
Well,
is a good man.
I'm so grateful that you shared what you know
about him. Thank you for having me.
Yes. No, it's so good to get a human side of him.
Yes.
And just to get a validated opinion of your experience, which helps helps the audience better understand her as a person.
Well, thank you for having me. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
I will. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.
Now that you've seen the first live with anybody speaking out against Dre that knew Dre in the past, and you understand that Brittany was hurt. She has every reason to be hurt. She lost a friendship. Losing friendship hurts. And you also see her try to correct information a few times. Katie Joy also tries to correct information a few times. Yet there's a lot of misinformation throughout this entire video. And this was the first video a lot of the audience saw with somebody speaking from Dre's side against her. So those words had huge impact and have carried much weight throughout this case. Maybe Brittany wasn't aware of the situation with his adoptive mom and bio mom. I'm not sure, but she left out a lot of key details for somebody that was that close. I think would have been important to tell this story correctly. Again, I'm not asking you to change your opinions on Dre. I'm asking you to look at the facts of this case. If you knew the facts we know now when hearing this, would you have had a different response? Would you have felt it was right for the bio mom to demand access to Marvan, knowing that she was estranged from his life for the majority of his life? Would that change things for you? Now, again, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have been able to see him. I'm just saying that a big question I have had is, how is his adoptive mom feeling about this? There was alleged threats between family members, multiple family members. I do not know if that is true or not. I do know some people, like I said, are trying to correct their misinformation spreading, but this is still ongoing. There's still problems. The question still remains, why are thousands of dollars being donated to a family that has seen their son at this point in time? I do kind of believe that some of the issue is commentators or people that call themselves commentators are trying to do more of a journalistic approach with this, yet they were still having their commentator hat on and not going and seeking out the proof and the facts to begin with. I don't think anybody quite knew how serious this case was going to be, but as soon as it started getting serious, like day 2, things should have been changed. There is absolutely no reason at this time with the social media interest this case has that there shouldn't be an official fundraiser set up and or an official spokesperson on behalf of the family. And none of these creators, in my opinion, are doing a good job of that for the family. I do believe that this drama between creators was fueled by past issues, obviously, that I'm unaware of. I haven't even had time to go look and see why these creators are so problematic in the public's view. So we're clear, I am not relying on these creators for information or to put the puzzle pieces together. They've all played their role in it. The cards will fall as they fall. But let me tell you, those puzzle pieces are wide and many, scattered through hundreds of hours of speculation, accusations, and blatant assumptions. And if you've made it this far, you're one of my true followers, and I appreciate you 100%. It means you're invested in finding out the truth. Again, sorry it was so long. It's just as it is. I'll leave you with this thought. If you would have seen this video after knowing all of the facts of this case, would your opinion have changed? Would your opinion change now? That's also not to invalidate Brittany's feelings, as they are extremely valid. However, looking back on this, I think she would even agree that this was a misstep. Again, thank you all for watching, and I will do another video soon. Have a great day.